Hello, Reds. This is Eugene. I want to talk about the preview for Sunday's game against Brighton. It's our first game away from Old Trafford. Our first game of the season, we won 2-1. In the game, we probably should have won easier. But in the end, we won, got the 3 points, and that's all that matters at this point in the season. We have some other players coming back from the World Cup with more fitness, and I expect that Jose is going to spark some of these players. I'm going to give you my preferred selection. We'll see what happens with that, and I'll tell you what I think Jose is going to do. We're going to be playing Brighton, who we lost to last year there, so this is not going to be that easy of a game. Although their first game of the year, they didn't play very well, but teams generally stand up or play better when they play Manchester United. It's like their Super Bowl, especially if you're like a team like Brighton. Some of it is going to be probably the bottom of the table. It's very important for them, and the fans will be there. So it's going to be a good game regardless. We'll just go right into it. My team is going to be David De Gea in goal, of course. And I think that Young should come back in there, but he should not take Shaw's place. Mark Goldbridge talked about this on his channel, the United Stand, about bringing in Young and keeping Shaw on the other side, and I think that that's a good thing. If Darmian is so bad, everybody claims he's so bad, and he made some mistakes last game, he did. Young can play that position, so I don't have an issue with Young being in there on the other side from Shaw. So I want to put Young there, Bailey and Lindelof. I think that's the number one center back pairing that we should have, so I want to keep it there until they get hurt. The problem is they both get hurt, and that's a problem. There's a possibility that Smalling may play here, because it's not against the top team, so it's possible he may give him a run out. And when I get to Jose's predicted alignments, you might see that. And also Shaw is going to be there. The biggest thing is now that Jose has been talking about Fellaini is fit, and a lot of people are getting kind of worked up thinking that he may start him. In my team, he's not in. He's obviously a sub in case we need him. But I still have the same team from last week. I got Pogba, Fred, and Pereira. In a lot of ways, we got run over in the midfield. As good as Paul played, and I think he was the man of the match last week, there was times in that game that a team that's from a lower level than us dominated the midfield, and we got to stop that from happening. Fred needs to be more forceful in the midfield, and he'll understand that. He's realizing now that the Premiership is a lot more physical in the midfield. So he's probably going to do something more in the weight room to deal with that. And he has the attitude to, he reminds me of De Silva, the boys, both of them, that they don't care how small they were. They're going to get into the charges or into tackles and be smart about it, let's say. So he needs to have some of that fire. They're all Brazilian, so I expect that he'll do better this week, and hopefully he'll get on the score sheet. And then I think that we're going to bring in Lingard to play. I think it's time for him to play. He's had a lot of time after the World Cup, and he'll be raring to go, just like we were at the first part of that game last week. So I think that's the person to come in. Lukaku should start from beginning, so I assume he will. And even though I would like to see Martial actually play here, I think that no matter what, Sanchez is going to play until he can't play anymore, because he makes so much money. Even though this is my team, excuse me, I'm still going to put him there because I expect that he's going to do something better this week. A lot of people said he played poor. It's hard when everybody's doing triple and three, 2 and 3 people following him around. We just got to get the ball further up the field quicker, and if we do that, he'll be more open to do things better. Now, there's going to be some big changes what I think that Jose is going to do. And last week I think I was right 10 of 11. So we'll see what happens with this. I think that he's going to he's going to stick with Darmian, which that's fine, and he's going to bring in Smalling instead of Lindelof. So my back four is Darmian, Bailey. This is what I think Jose is going to do. And we'll see if I'm right about this. He may stick with Lindelof, but I just think it's possible that he might bring in Smalling here. Not only because there's a possibility that we might sell Smalling at some point, like maybe over to overseas or something like that. He needs to have a run out, and he should be able to deal with Brighton's attack. So it's possible Smalling might come in for Bailey and Lindelof might play. But I'm just going to say he's going to say Darmian, Bailey, Smalling, and unfortunately I think Young is going to play at his normal position, his new normal position, and Shaw is going to be on the bench. It's unfortunate, but I think there's a hierarchy to the players, and as good as Shaw played and he scored last week, it's possible that Jose's done this before. You score and you don't start the next week. So he might just want to do this just to see. I hope he does with what I thought he should do, have Young on the other side, but we'll see. I think that he's not going to bring in Fellaini yet. I think he's going to use him as an option B. But who knows? He'll have to look at the tactics, look at the other team, and if he thinks that having the big guy in the middle of the field will be good for us, he might put him there. So I think it's the same team from last week in the midfield. So that's Pogba, Fred, and Pereira. And he also has the same front three that I have, which is Lingard, Lukaku, and Sanchez. So, saying all that, no matter what who actually decides that he starts to start in the game, we should be better enough to get through. And I saw some good things that I saw the last game, but I also saw the same issues that we had last year. And we just got to get better. So I'm going to say we're going to win 2-0. I think that we're good enough to do that. Again, this is probably their Super Bowl. It's early in the season. Our players are now fresh. The players that played in the World Cup have had some time to train. This really should not be a huge issue. As long as the defense doesn't make any major mistakes, we should at least get a point. If we can't score and they don't score, that would be not disastrous, but we have to make sure we get as many points we can early in the season, as City has a pretty easy 6 or 7 games, and then we got Tottenham, our next game at home. So it's Sunday, August 19th, 11 in the East Coast of the United States, 4 in UK, and we have about 8 days after this game because the next game is on Monday against Tottenham. So that'll be the really biggest battle we have, and hopefully we're not going to look forward to Tottenham and just forget about Brighton. We have to start off really hard, very good, so we stay up there with the rest of the teams. You guys have any questions below? Let me know, and we'll talk to you again after the game, or I might call you. I might say something before the game if there's a huge change. You might be starting. If like all this shit we've heard about Pogba saying stuff about Jose, if he now decides to stick him because he feels he's being too out of line, then I'll come back and we'll talk about that. But again, thank you for watching. You guys have a good day, and we'll talk to you Sunday after the game. Bye.